Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here. I'm really excited to show you how to create this new powder puff bracelet. This design was created a long while ago by my good friend Suzanne HB. She is on YouTube, but she's also on Instagram as Crazy Just Might Work. You definitely want to check her out and give her a follow because she has some amazing designs. This one here, the powder puff, takes approximately 110 bands. These two are a little smaller, but I'll explain that in the tutorial. But yeah, this one here I did all silicone bands. This one is all regular, and I mixed some jelly with regular ones here. So you can definitely mix and match, depends on your preference. This is not the Starburst design. You will see and take notice once you see the process of making this bracelet, and just by looking at it, the way it completely like puffs up off of the bracelet, which she was actually trying to make it a wider bracelet, but what she did actually created the puffiness. So it was a coincidence, but she loved it and I love it too. So hopefully you guys will like it as much as I do. And without wasting your time any further, let's go ahead and get started. To make this bracelet, you need 2 looms if you want the bracelet to fit all the way around your wrist, 1 C-clip and your hook. Make sure that your loom is set up with the bar pins aligned like so, and you just want to have 2 of them hooked together like so it's nice and long. I do want to apologize that you can see my tripod a little bit. It's new and I can't figure out how to get it out of the way, so forgive me for that. And I know that it's not going to be 100% centered, but I'm sure you guys don't care about that. So what I'm going to be using is my silicone bands for most of the design, and then I do have some jellies that I'll be using as well. So all we're going to do to start off is we're going to lay a single chain border going down the left and right side, but we're going to start in the middle, go out to the left, out to the right, and then we'll just make a single chain border going all the way down. So to start, I'm dropping bands everywhere. So to start, I'm going to just lay 1 out to the right and 1 out to the left. And I'll start on the right side and go up, and then I'll come back and do the left side. So you just want to go like this. Make sure your arrows are facing away from you. This part is super easy. Just keep going all the way down your loom. Now you're not going to take it to the very, very end, so if you're ahead of me, just bear with me until I get down there and I'll show you what to do. When you get to this pin here, the one before the end, you're actually going to bring it from the right side and then up into the middle here. So don't go down to that very last one. Just bring it into the middle. So now we have our chain going all the way down the right side, and now we're going to do the same for the left side. So just come back to the beginning and do the same on the left side. Sorry if my hand's kind of in the way. Just keep going all the way up, just like we did on the right side. Keep getting ahead of myself. Sorry guys. Trying to get used to this tripod I have. It's kind of making it a little more harder on me. So just like you did on the right side, when you get down to the one before the last, just bring it into the middle there. And go ahead and push all your bands down because we're going to be adding some more bands on, so you definitely want to have room for those. And I should have mentioned, I bring it all the way down to the end to fit around my wrist, like the one example I showed you. But the two other ones I stopped, let's see, I stopped here and brought it in. So there were 3 left out on the end here and then 2 left out here. So if you're worried about it being a little too big, you can stop at this 3rd pin, bring it in. Stop here and bring it in here. You can even come here if you think it's going to be too short, or too big, sorry. Okay, so just make sure all, excuse me, all your bands are pushed down. And now what I'm going to do is, I have a band stuck in here, so let me flip it. Oh well, I have to use my hook. Okay, sorry for the delay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to actually drop some bands onto the pins for later. Now when Suzanne showed me this is not how she originally came up with this design. She did it a little bit differently than I'm getting ready to show you. She made this many months ago. After designing it, she's seen Crafting Fantastic, also known as Feeling Spiffy on YouTube, drop the bands and then, come back to them later. So she did get that technique from her. So we definitely want to give her credits for dropping the bands on. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to start with my jelly, my yellow jelly. And we're just going to drop 6, like if you're switching colors, you're going to drop 3 on each side. So it would be 1, 2, 3. For example, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So you would do it just like that. Now this color that we're dropping right now is going to be the 2nd band that's under here. So if that can help you figure out what color you want. I did white on this one, on the bottom ones. And then on this one I think I used the jellies. So they're kind of hard to see, but that's what we're laying right now. So if you're switching colors, after the last one you laid, you'll count 3 and lay that color before switching again. So I'm going to do pink this time. We're just dropping it on. And like I said, we're not going to do anything with these right now. We will come back to them later. I just felt like it was a little bit quicker doing it this way. So for the tutorial, I felt like it would make sense to do it the faster way. So I'm only going to be using green, yellow, and pink. So now that I have laid all those colors, I'm going to come back to my yellow. And just make sure, if you are switching colors like me, you're doing it in sets of 3. Because that basically equals 1 like powder puff, if you will. Basically, by dropping these now, it just eliminates us from having to put our hook in the band later on and having to like put your hook in and slide the band through it. So it definitely saves some time. I'm laying the last ones now. Like that. So this is what your loom should look like. You should just have all these loose bands just kind of laying there on both sides. If your loom looks like that, now we can start. Okay, so now we're going to start laying our powder puffs, if you will. So what we're going to do here is starting in the center, you have the 3 and 3 jellies on each side that are just laying there loose. So you want to be in the center of that, which would be this pin here. And we're going to lay 3 going to the left and then 3 coming to the right. So I'm going to use my silicone jelly, and it really doesn't matter what order you do it, but I like to just start from the bottom. So 1 stretching up to the middle, 1 going to the left, and 1 stretching up to that side. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right side. So I'll start by stretching it down over to the right and then stretching it to the upper right one. Just like that. So it's kind of like an X with a line through it. So we're going to come up to the next one and we're going to do the same exact thing, except we're going to use pink this time. So you're going to start at this bottom one, or you can, if it makes you more comfortable, to start at the middle. But start at the bottom left. So I've laid those 3 on that side, push them down, and we're going to do the same on the right side. So you should have 6 all together. Hopefully it's not confusing with these loose bands sitting there. Now I'm going to switch to green. Sorry about my hand. I keep forgetting about this. The way I have the video set up, my hand gets in the way a lot more than it normally does. So once again, we got the 3 on this side, the 3 on that side. Now I'm going to go to my yellow again. So eventually we're going to put a cap band, and these are all going to be loomed out. And my thing popped off, so make sure that your loose bands do not pop off, because we definitely need them. If they do, it's not a huge problem because we can always add it at the end. But by laying them, we avoid having to do that. Going back to my green, you're just doing this all the way up the loom, just laying 3 on the left side and 3 on the right side. Almost getting there. And I lost my band again. So sorry about that. And lastly, we're going to do our pink one more time. Like that. So if you have all of your bands laid like I do, it should look like this. Now it looks a little confusing with those loose ones, but you should have 6 each on each section. Now what we're going to do is, going in the centers of each one of these, we are going to add a cap band. So it needs to be looped around 2 times. I'm just going to stick with the color that I used to lay the bands, which is my yellow silicone for this one. So it just needs to be wrapped around 2 times. So it's just a normal cap band on the centers of each one. You can use your hook, you can use your fingers, whichever is easier. Just make sure each one has a cap band, because this is where we will be looping out from, these centers. And I hope that this tutorial comes out okay, because I really, really love this design. But it's the first time I'm using this new setup, so comment below if you think I should go back to my original way or if it was okay. And I think I need one more band. So I'm laying my last cap band on the center, like so. So now we should have a regular cap band on the centers of all of our powder puffs. Now we're going to actually turn our loom around so the arrow is facing us. The good thing now is, since we have the bands laid, the loose ones we laid are now kind of trapped, so they won't get away from us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go inside each one of these starbursts or powder puffs and loom each one of these out. So you're going to push back, let me turn that a little bit. You're going to push back this cap band and grab the very top band, which should be the bottom left if you laid it like I did. Just don't lose your cap band in the process. You might want to hold on to it. You're just going to loop it back to the original pin it came from. Going back in that cap band, grab the next one, which should go out to the left. Go back in. Going to the upper left, and now we're going to do the same on the right side. So you're going to go in that cap band and bring the right side like you did the left. It's just like you would do a starburst, except it's not the same like layout. So come up to the yellow one or your next one, do the same thing, push back your cap band, do the left side. And now you're going to loop the right side. Going on to my next one, grabbing my green. I'm looping that out as well. And that's why we laid the bands as we did, just so it's in order. So you're just looping from the bottom up, coming to the right side, going from the bottom up again. So just continue doing this until all your little powder puffs are loomed out. And then once I reach where you are, we will continue with the rest of the design. And now I have two more to go. So if you're waiting on me, I apologize. But you can always fast forward. Alright, so that was my last one. So now all of our powder puffs should be loomed out, or at least the main layer of it is. So they should all be like that. Now what we have to do is go back in, and we have to now loop the bottom loose ones that we laid in the beginning. So what we're going to do is I'm going to work on the left side, and then I'll probably turn it around, because if you're right-handed, it's hard to kind of do it on this side, I think. So you're just going to, with one hand, kind of hold on to that loose band, and you're just going to go down. It doesn't matter if you go in this side or go in this side, but you need to just grab onto one side of that band from inside, have it on your hook, and then grab it from the outside like that, and you're just going to pop that off like that, off of your loom. So you should have that jelly one, I should have used a different color, on your hook, and now you're just going to place that back on your loom like that. When Suzanne was making this design, her reason for actually doing the extra band was she thought it would make the bracelet wider, but it didn't. It actually just made them pop up, which she thought was super cute too, but that was her whole reasoning behind adding another band. So again, you're going to go inside the band, grab one side with your hook, place the other side on there, pop it off, and then place it back on. So I like to grab one side with my hand, going inside, grabbing one side, place the other side on your hook, pop it off, and place it back on. I'm going to try to do it with my loom like this so we can do the whole thing at once, but I think it's hard for me to do it on this side, but we'll see. Let's see. If you're right-handed, it's probably easier to work on one side and then the other. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be too awkward. So I am going to do one side at a time. So we just did those three. Let's go up to our yellow. Just place your hook, move the band out of the way, grabbing onto that loose band, place the side from the outside on there, and pop it off and place it back on. Hopefully you guys know exactly what I'm doing. Push it out of the way, grab one side, place the other side on your hook, place it back on. If we did not have these laid, I'm going to use a different color so you can see what I'm doing. If I did not have this loose one here, we would have to put our hook down in here, put the band on there, and you would have to like, slide it up through the channel, then place it on, and then place it on the loom. So by laying the green first, it just eliminates you from having to do that every time. Some may find that way easier, which is the original way she did it, but I just found that it was a little bit faster, at least off camera it was faster to do it this way. So just keep grabbing that loose band from the bottom, hooking it onto your hook, and then placing it back on the loom. Mine got stuck. I like to hold it out like that because it gives it tension so I can easily grab it with my hook. Then I like bring it up and then I just place it back on the hook, pop it off, and then you can just place it back on like that. And it looks like I may have lost a band here, so I'm going to have to do the original way on this one. So if you end up losing or have lost any throughout the process, that's how you would replace it. Just slide your hook down in there and pull it through. It may look a little time consuming, but for some reason it just seems a little harder to do trying to stay in the view of a camera. But you'll notice when you're doing it that you can kind of fly through it. So I'm going to turn my loom around so that I can continue working with it on my left side. But I'm going to go ahead off camera and finish getting all these looped just so I can save on some time. But once again, you're just going to hold that loose band with your opposite hand, push back the bands that are already looped, grab on to that other side of the loose band. So now you have one on your hook, one on your hand, and just place it on the hook. It should pop off, or you can pop it off and then place the two on your hook back on the loom. So just keep doing that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did go ahead and finish looping all of my loose bands. So just make sure that you have everything looking like this and reattached. Hopefully everyone understood fully what I was doing there. Make sure your bands are also pushed down so that we can now loop our border band. So all we're going to do is take the color that you used for your border and add a cap band onto this very front pin. Your arrows should be facing towards you. So just put a cap band on this one. Should just be looped 2 times. And now we're just going to loop the sides up. So we're going to go inside this pin here, pushing back that top cap band, grabbing the first band, and you're going to pull that to the right. And go back in that cap band, grab the next band, bring that to the left. And now we're just going to go up the left and the right side. So I'm just going to do one side at a time. I'll start with my left here. So make sure that when you go down into this channel here, or pin, you have to push back the pink here. So go inside the pin, inside the pin, push back the top 2 pink ones, grabbing that very bottom white, and bring it forward. Go in the next one, push back those 2 top bands, grabbing the bottom, and bringing that forward. And you're going to do that all the way up. So just make sure that you're getting inside those bands to loop that white. Super easy, just a regular single chain You just got to make sure that you're going inside those bands and not on the outside. When you get to your last one, you're going to bring it into the center. This is what I was talking about. So go in, grab it, and bring it to the center. So now our left side is complete. Go back to the beginning. And now we're going to do the same thing, but on the right side. My editing software does not have fast forward on it, guys. I've mentioned that in previous tutorials, so sorry that I can't just fast forward this part. But you guys can fast forward if you're already ahead of me. Make sure you bring that last one into the middle like you did the first one. There should be 4 bands on this top pin here. You're going to take the same color as your border, holding it with your opposite hand. You're going to slide your pin or hook inside this pin here because you want to be around all those bands like that. Just push your hook out, place the band on your hook. I like to turn it in a little bit so I don't lose it. Pull that band up through there so it's wrapped around all of those bands, and then just reapply the other side of the band. So now we'll have 2 bands on our hook, which is where we're going to place our C-clip. I'm just going to put it on my finger, slide the C-clip around those 2 bands like that. And now we're just going to pull it carefully off of the loom. So I like to grasp this firmly and just pull up. And you just go all the way down, kind of working in a like left to right motion. And you just have to kind of keep moving your hand down the bracelet as you pull it off so you can get a nice grip on it. Just do that all the way down. Just don't break any bands. Don't worry if it looks flat, because this is what it looks like before you do anything, which honestly I still think it looks kind of cool. But once, and this is where I was saying where when Suzanne was making it, she was hoping by adding these bands here on the bottom it would make it wider, but it didn't. It just made it puff up, because when she hooked it, which you're going to come down here, it's super easy to hook. Just grab your hook, you'll see the cap band, just hook it together, bada bing, and then once you just squeeze it together, or once you put it on your wrist, it will pop up like that. So they pop up nicely. I love how it comes out with the silicone bands, which is what I used for this tutorial. So just by squeezing like the borders together, it makes it puff up. So once again, guys, this design was created by my dear friend Suzanne HB. She is on Instagram as Crazy Just Might Work, and she is on YouTube as Susan HB as well. So definitely check her out. Give her a follow. She has some super awesome, amazing designs. So check them out as well. You can find more of her designs on my channel as well. You can check me out at Loves to Loom also. I hope you guys like this bracelet as much as I do. I think it's super cute. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you at my next tutorial. Bye!